Greetings and welcome to the Weight Room podcast this evening. I'm Dr. Claire, and I'm delighted that you've joined us this evening, whether you joined us this evening or another day. I'm delighted to have you. Let me bring on my co host, the Reverend, the Elder Jerome Case, man about town, father, husband, preacher, teacher, life
Yeah.
coach, all of
Oh
that
man,
stuff. I
who
mean,
is
this
who
is the
is?
guy, y'all. He's the guy. If you want to know who the guy is, it's him. How you doing,
Wow,
Elder Case?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm
Hey,
glad to be back.
hey, I'm
Glad.
feeling much better. I almost have my voice back. And you were out a bit last week too, weren't you?
Yes, yes. I mean, if
January's
I could
coming in
record it,
like a lion.
it's coming in. It's taking no prisoners. So
Exactly. A lot of people were sick that first 2 weeks from our ministry, and it's taken a while to get back. And then you were sick before then, and then you got sick again. What's up?
I have children,
Oh yeah,
and
that's
they're
right. I
like
forgot.
walking germ and virus carriers. These
Right.
jokers just, and it doesn't bother them, of course, right? They
No, they're
just,
fine. We're
man, they just
sneezing
do
and
what they
blowing
do.
and coughing and hacking, and it's
Yeah,
all
and
good.
feeling bad. So, they don't care, and then they
No,
still get up at 5. So,
no
it's like,
grace.
none, like, "We're hungry, we wanna play, where's my snack?" And so that's
That's
it.
right. No rest for the weary. I still had to be a caretaker, and then of course I have this a terrier, which is short for terrorist. So
Yeah, you did
I,
that.
I have a
That's
terrorist
pretty
dog. Seriously, she's ready
hey,
to do whatever she wants to do when she wants to do it. And so let me tell you what you missed last week. We talked about resolutions. And then, of course, Shatika talked about IUL some more and the insurance products that will help you have a better retirement. So, if you missed last session, um, go take a look. They're all on YouTube. They're either in the playlist or under the live tab. So you can see all of the past episodes. I guess I need to number them because
you're
I don't
gonna
know
have to
what
put some
episode
numbers
we're
on.
on.
'Cause you have to start off with episode 35, episode 379, like, stuff like
Okay.
that. So,
Okay. Well,
that's
well,
that's what
on
we're gonna have to do.
Spotify, they have numbers, but on YouTube, they don't really, because we're on Spotify and anywhere else you'll find a podcast, actually. But on YouTube, we don't really have numbers. I guess we got to go back and number them.
That might help out.
Because which number are we on? You think 10?
I don't know.
To see, you're no help.
Let me see, like, I would say about episode 8.
You think 8?
I think it's probably 8.
Okay, I'll check it out tomorrow.
Who's gonna tell me I'm wrong? So
I don't know. Somebody might go back and check us out and add them up for us. Who's gonna do that today? Where's my
yeah, sure.
admin? I need to
They
get
can
me
they
an
can do that.
admin.
Yeah. We
Oh boy,
yeah,
here
you
we
got one.
go.
There's your admin right there.
See this one. We get no rest. There's no rest for the weary. So since we talked about
This is like how
resolutions
many
and you
people
don't
some people
particularly,
have
some people have what? Go ahead.
care about them. Lot dogs in their office, so it's
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes this is my office and I got a dog. So um you said you don't really care for the word resolution or the concept of resolution, but I saw you on Facebook and you had your family plan or something like that. Tell us about that, Elder Case, how the Case family moves forward to the next year.
oh, well,
Then,
yes. So, that was something that we wanted to do again. this year, 2024, instead of these resolutions, right? Oh, we plan to do this. I plan to
Mhm.
lose weight. Or I plan to do, right? Um, we can plan to do some things. I mean, I can help people with that, but through these, we had sat down before and mapped out some things through quarters and kind of lost
Hmm.
it, and we got it over our heads with some things. We actually had too many items. So we wanted to streamline it a little bit this year. So we went with just a simple 30, 90, um, 180, and 365 day plans.
Oh, wow.
And so we front loaded a lot with the 30-day plan. And since you had mentioned it to me, I was going to bring it up on my computer, but it looks like we're having some little issue on here. So what I'll do is,
Mhm.
I get it. I have it on my phone. Not that I'm going to share like this visual with it, but I can look down at it. It's our show, it's our
Mhm.
podcast, so it's life. And matter of fact, it works out even better this way because let me just stop something here. Um, so I actually have it on my phone, so I can
Mhm.
quickly reference it. Um, and we have a family plan. We have our mission statements. So
Okay, for the
prior
mission
to the family
statement.
plan, we created, and I'll touch on that because it leans into, helps frame out your planning for your
Mhm.
family. And I'll say, you
Absolutely.
know, every family should. I think it's a good idea for you to have a mission statement for your family, right?
Mhm.
In particular, I do tell men that you want to have this. Like women,
Mhm.
wives want to know what their husband is thinking and how he's trying to lead them in the right way,
Exactly.
and that way, and then partner in with that. So we have actually a mission statement for our family. We have a marriage mission statement, a family mission statement, and a financial mission statement.
Come on in here.
Absolutely. And I keep them on my phone, access them through a shared Google Doc with my wife, and I
Mhm.
have that document saved as a thumbnail. So there's no reason for me not to look at it. And I look at it sometimes,
Mhm.
because I'm married and marriages be tripping sometimes. Marriage is go marriage, right? So
Hallelujah. I mean,
and so
when I counsel, well, when I have counseled couples, I've pretty much said that same thing. Have a plan for your family, right?
yeah, you
Yeah, a
have
mission
to.
statement. Mhm.
I mean, you have
As
to, and they set the values, the principles, and the goals that you want to live with. And if you have these plans, or something of the like, right, then
Mm.
it's easier for you to set out your goals for the next year.
Your
So although
budget.
I don't believe budget is one of them, although I don't believe in necessary resolutions because people like to wait to the top of the year to do something that they can do right now. It's like, oh, it's October, at the top of the new year, I'm gonna do this. Well, do it now. It's
Right,
November,
exactly. Mhm.
December. Do it now,
Do
right?
it. Just do it.
Right. So, I like to share. I shared these with a couple of friends of mine as well, and then our calendar for our case family planning that we did, we set aside 6 hours, right? And people are like, "Oh man, that's a long time." Well,
Mm-mm.
it's a time box. You can break it up to 2 hour sessions, right?
Mhm.
However, that's 6 hours of planning that can carry you through the remainder of the year.
Mhm.
And though we're into what, the fourth week of the year, right? I think it's the fourth week, right? It's been so
Right.
much.
I know.
Um, right. We're into the fourth week of the year. We have already sat down and reviewed our plan a few times together.
Mhm.
But what would we do if we didn't have it?
Right.
You know what
I
I'm
mean, because
saying?
companies do this, churches do this, well, the ones that are run well do this. Um,
You gotta have a theme. Oh, we got a
yeah.
theme too.
Not even a theme, but a plan as well as a theme. What's your theme for the year?
Revise, renew, and rebrand.
Come on, rebrand. How
So
you gonna rebrand the Case family?
listen, I'll tell you what. So we actually wrote out what each one of these things were for. So to revise, we was like revise our financial plan, our financial goals, skill sets, which included learning and training,
Mm-hmm.
habits, and community engagement. So we
All
wanted to
right.
revise that. To renew it, we wanted to renew our leisure, faith life. That means our prayer and devotional study time together, and
Okay.
quality time, giving, and our fitness and health. So,
Okay.
and then for the rebranding, we were looking at our business goals and professional goals, and our marriage,
Okay.
right?
Sounds like a
Because
plan.
we're we're at we're at the fifth year of our marriage, so
Mm-hmm.
things have changed drastically
Mm-hmm.
from the time that we
Mm-hmm.
got married. We now have two children. We came through
Yeah.
COVID. We got two
Yeah.
COVID babies. Um, it's wild. Ministry
Yeah.
looks a little bit different for me. I've started a business. My wife has had another job. In that time, I've had like four different jobs, all in the same
Mm-hmm.
career field, but four different
Mm-hmm.
companies. So we needed to look at what marriage looks like and what we expect. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something that we discussed. And so although we do have it's a 30, 90, 180, and 365-day plan, excuse me, we also have a daily plan.
Mm-hmm.
So like our 5 day a week daily plan is pray together, um, do some type of exercise. For me, 10 minutes of stretching in the morning, devotional time. And that devotional time can be prayer at the same time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
individual prayer, pray together before devotional time. And then we were strategic about watching at least that week, right? Try to, maybe not every night for this one, but read or watch some type of video of learning together.
Yeah.
And it
Go
doesn't have to
ahead.
be long. It doesn't have to be long. So this is something that anybody can really do and to help yourself. And with the 30-day plan, you just your entire plan period, each segment of that plan is just broken out into three specific areas. Pardon me. I haven't coughed all day. This is wild. I haven't coughed one time all day long. But anyway, it's some good information. So you have a 30 within those windows or time frames, I should say. Well, you have a financial goal and we have a professional slash business goal, and then we have a personal goal. So, and when we say personal goal, and we break that up into what's for us as individuals and what's for us together. And so, like for our financial plan, we wanted to specific, you know, we have questions that help outline this for us. Like the first question in the financial plan was, what specific financial target would you like to achieve in the next 30 days? And we wrote those down. We were intentional about those.
Mm-hmm.
Identify the necessary budget adjustments or saving strategies, because we over the past 5 years we've tried different strategies, but thankfully the Lord has blessed us with increases in our finances.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to be strategic about how we manage those finances in areas within the marketplace and savings and investments. And we also have children, right? So
Right.
when we first did our first will and we did our other legal documents that went along with supporting how if something happens to us with
Mm-hmm.
our older daughter Nyla, we now have to look at, okay, we have to incorporate Shiloh into this as well now. So what do we need to do? And the legal firm that my wife used the first time, because she used her employee assistance program at work, changed. So now we have to find another lawyer, right? And
Hmm.
all those documents have to be done all over again by
Why?
the law firm. Like, they just can't make an adjustment to that document.
Oh,
When you
because 'cause you're
add a
making
child,
it okay.
right, and we're adding a whole child to the person, I
Right,
mean, to those
right.
documents, so everything has to be done completely over, and so, we were so we have it all set out for, um, like, for custodial purposes for our
Mhm,
for now if something happened to us, executor, of the estate, and then, I forgot the other term, 'cause it's 3 different people, so we have one who manages the executive of the state, one who manages the money, and one
mhm.
who will take care
Fiduciary.
for the child, right? It's something like that, and care for
Yeah.
the for our daughter, you know? Um, so that has to change as well, because now you can't just, we figure out just drop 2 children on one family, like, they was cool with 1, like, they're like, "Yeah, we'll take the 1.
Right,
I'd
right.
love to," right? Now, I'm like, "Oh, we gotta take
Yeah,
another one." Of course, they would do it, they're family
right.
members, but, still wanna
I
plan
did
that out.
something similar, when my son was here. Yep.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
have to. I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't think about those things, someone else will think about them for you, and they may not do it the way you wanted it done or thought was
E
best.
exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with planning. Yeah, that's an adult thing to do, right?
Uh, we're here now, right?
It's serious adulting.
Adulting can get you, you
Yeah.
know. Any then we have something like our immediate financial challenges or needs that we need to address, right? So there's some things that we say, oh, well, we want to get this taken care of now,
Hmm.
right? Then there was professional goals slash business
Mhm.
goals, right? And so one of the questions was, what professional skill or achievement do you want to develop and accomplish in the next month, right? And for me, I have a couple more days to finish a course that I
Mhm.
decided to do, right? And I charged that to my business, but it was something I needed to do. My wife needed to find a course. She found something she wanted. And then, networking opportunities. So I'm looking at joining a particular network for the skill set that I have for my business. And all this has to be done by the end of the month, right? Or
This
some
month?
type of yeah,
Okay,
right.
okay, so this is your 30-day plan.
Right. And some of the 30-day plan is like finishing a particular goal that month, right? Like
Mhm.
completing a course. Others may be like investigate and have at least 5 different, like I'm looking at another high yield savings account, right? So find 2 more, because it takes a long time sometimes to find these things that you're really comfortable with in
Mhm.
the time of just doing life and getting sick, right?
Right, and raising
So,
babies.
and raising babies. So, finding something and then landing on it, right? And then discussing it. So
Mhm.
those things, and then personal goals I have for me, like, although it's a daily goal, it is also a personal goal that I wanted to cultivate, right? I had something here like cultivating a goal, cultivating a habit, excuse me, that I started a goal to cultivate this habit, and that's read 5 pages of a book every night.
Mhm.
I mean, I read, but
Yeah,
I'll read in pockets and
I
spurts.
know. Yeah, me too.
There's some weird statistic about people once they graduate high school, they never read a book again.
High
Yeah.
school?
High school, people that graduate high school, it's like a large segment of the country never read a book again. They never read anything.
Wow, I've never heard that one.
I can tell you there are some famous people that I know, and what I mean, like in circles in ministry and in life, who do
Mhm.
not read books.
Yeah. I mean, they at least audio I mean, everybody is in audiobooks
No,
nowadays. No.
they don't. One person, I'm gonna tell you, when we're done, do not read books.
Wow.
And so I found that out in a men's program. We had all
Mhm.
these various speakers coming in every so often, and I would always ask the question, "What are you reading?" Because I
Mhm.
want to know.
Yeah,
Like,
they say readers are leaders, right? Or leaders are readers.
I mean, if I meet a billionaire, I'm going to ask them like, "What's your daily routine? How are you thinking? What's your
Mm.
think? What's your thought process?"
Mhm.
You know, and that's what I want to know. So I asked
Exactly.
I asked that question. The Joker said, "I don't read books."
He don't
I
need listen
said,
to
"What?"
books. He got
Nothing.
everything he needs.
Grew up with it, and I was like, "Okay, all
Okay.
right, doc." So yeah,
Okay.
and then we just, I mean, it's like that's how I roll. I did a whole 90-day plan with that. 180 day. Now here's the kicker. This is the thing. People get intimidated. You're like, oh man, that's a lot of work. I don't even know where to begin, right? One, it is a lot of work. You have to be intentional. But
Right.
technology is abound, right?
Absolutely.
And I am I am a chat GPT using warrior. Okay.
Wow.
I will use that thing for everything. And so, like I said before, we've done this before and we
Mhm.
blocked it out and we got overwhelmed at times. And what happens is when you don't reach your goals, that period, you can become like, oh well, I'm not gonna make it, or you get
Mm.
discouraged, or it's so much on there, it becomes noise.
Mhm.
Right. You just decide like, okay, it's there. I'm not gonna even.
Yeah. Now that's one thing I used to talk about last week, making smart goals, what is it? SMART.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's the S? Is that sustainable, measurable? Um,
Keep going.
I don't know. I can't remember. What's A?
Attainable. Attainable.
Attainable.
Yeah.
Okay. Re realistic
Hmm.
and timely,
Time. It's time bound, right?
time bound, right?
Yeah. So you want to put some time into it. So
Right. So she did
yeah.
talk about that too, even as you're making your plans or your resolutions or whatever you call them, make them smart and then, prayerfully they will be attainable. And if not, you'll take the time to edit, right?
I mean, you can review them. Your
How
goals.
often do y'all review them?
Like right now, we're doing it once a week. So we set aside a
Okay.
plan within there. It's on our calendar. So we use Google a lot. I use Google a lot. I didn't like it at first, but the company I work
Mhm.
for is 100% paperless environment that uses Google Suite. So
Mhm.
I leverage those skill sets. So we have a meeting every Thursday at 8:30. So
Okay.
where we sit down and go over things. What are we going to be doing? How are we going to do it? Right, and that is working for us to be intentional about that. And we use that calendar. We have for our calendar. I have my personal calendar, and we have a joint calendar. And she's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, it's on the joint calendar, so you should see it." Right? There's no excuse for you not to see. Yeah, she's like, "Okay, I'm leaving. Where you going? I got
Okay.
an appointment. It's on the calendar. You didn't
It's
see
on
it,
the calendar.
right? You ignored your reminder, didn't you?" So like,
You get reminders and
you
alerts
can
because,
see, yeah,
I always tell people, "If it's not on my calendar, it's not happening."
right, right. You're not gonna get in there. So, but to the point of not being intimidated, like technology is here to help us, right?
Yes,
And the fact that
it's a
people
tool.
don't use the tools because they feel like they don't know is a good thing of not knowing. The fact that you don't
Mhm.
know means that you're willing to say. If you can say I don't know, then you should be willing to say I'm willing to learn, right? And if you
Right.
can learn it and sit down, then you'll gain a lot of information out and a lot of knowledge that then can be applied to as wisdom. So what did I do? I asked ChatGPT. I you
Mhm.
know, I created a prompt, and it's so cool with ChatGPT. So I asked it to create a 30, 90, 180, and 365 plan for a calendar year to include personal finance, personal business, and whatever else I wanted to include in there. I just used those three areas, um,
Okay.
which, like I said, was finances, professional goals, and personal goals. Literally,
Mhm.
just include these in there and give me 3 bullet points per goal. And like within
2
20
seconds.
seconds, it spit out the questions, right? That I need. And then I could just say, refine that, rewrite that, add this, or whatever,
Mhm.
do something else. Even if you don't know what to ask or how to ask it, because how you prompt it is what helps, right? Um,
Right.
you can say, oh, and by the way, I love Chat GPT because you tell it what it is first. That's how you set the prompt
Mm.
up.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I told it that it is you are um, a accomplished planner, right, or something like that, or you are a
Mhm.
strategic goal planner, um, something, and it responds back to you. You tell it, and you can even ask and say, "Hey, please write me a prompt that will set me or create a write me a prompt that will create a plan for the next 365 days and break it down into quarters." And it'll write the
Mhm.
prompt, you copy the prompt, and you plug it right back in, and it'll spit it out. I give no
Mhm.
people any excuses anymore. I'm like, "Look,
No.
at this point, Imma
I
tell you
mean,
where to go."
exactly. Exactly. I mean, if you at least have an idea, you can use GPT to fill in the blanks for you and then even edit that. I mean, because it's not perfect either,
Right.
but edit it for your specifics.
You just have to a framework is what I was looking for, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, just something in the framework, because like, in my 90-day plan, I'm still working on completing my book, poetry book that I have been working on, and
Mhm.
just some other things that we wanna do for ourselves, hobbies and trips, you know? It gives you those
Mhm.
things. So I want people to feel like, "Hey, man, I may not understand how to do it, or I might not know what to do to create a plan. I wanna do those things." How? Use something. You can either find yourself a coach, right?
Mhm.
Like me. You tell me what you
Like
want,
you.
and I can help you, start this, or find yourself a tool and a coach, right? You you
And a
you
coach.
can't go listen, you go as your dream is gonna go as far as your team, right? You know,
Come
and
on.
so
Is
you have
that part of your poetry book?
no, 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 no. It's just like you have to have some people around you. I look at coaching the same way. I'm like, I look at famous people. They have coaches for everything.
Mhm.
Successful people, you know,
They have sometimes a coach for every different thing that they do.
literally. There are
Yeah.
people I know who have, like I said, they have. I told you before, voice coaches, and they
Mhm.
speak. Preachers that I know have voice coaches. They have um, wellness coach. And
Mhm.
they have like some preachers I know have preaching coaches, and these are
Amen.
famous preachers who still have preaching coaches,
Well, you can always get better.
right? And it might be content coach, right? Something in
Mhm.
those areas. I deal in the area of limiting beliefs and people overcoming their own selves, right? Because we all
Mm.
have. You'd be surprised that even people who are super uber famous in their area have these
Mhm.
doubts that just rise up out
Oh,
of
sure.
nowhere, and it's almost crippling at times. Just like the more successful they are, it seems like the bigger the challenge is to believe that they're capable of still going forward in these things. And
I've seen it.
right, in spite of, right? They still do it in spite of. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. So since you asked me to talk about that, I think it's important, one, and I'll target this part towards men, right? Men, you need to have some type of mission statement.
Ha.
Married men should have a mission statement for your family. If you don't know how to
Amen.
write one, I can help you. If you don't know how to write
Yeah.
one, the internet can help you. But get help somewhere. A family mission statement, a mission statement for your money. Your money
Mhm.
should you should have a plan for your money, right? And how you use it. You should have a plan for not just your marriage, but your family, like how you engage your family, you know.
Exactly.
Um, and it's not like I came up with all this on my own. I got
Mhm.
I got this knowledge about the mission statement. I have a personal mission statement for myself, and I did a program on men creating personal mission statements, right? And so that
Mhm.
their spouses can see what they are about. But I
Come
never
on.
thought about or this in their children, right? So
Yeah.
So check this out. I did this program, and it was to teach men how to write a personal mission statement with the goal in mind that you would take that mission statement and frame it in two places, in your home and in your office or place of work, right? And so that
Okay.
your children can see this and hold you accountable. And they would be like,
That'd be
well, you
great.
said this, Dad, you said you were about this, right?
Hey, that's what we do with God, right?
Come on, man. Stop playing.
Come on. I mean, hey, your word says this. Hey,
And he reminds you of what it said,
come on.
right?
So it's the same thing.
Right. You have to.
Holding people accountable. Exactly.
Like, and so if you have those things, you can have a mission statement, a purpose statement. I have both. And they can change. They don't have to be
Mm,
static, right? It can be
absolutely.
in because you evolve, and so it should evolve. But
Mhm.
if it's something you're serious about, then you look back at it. And I've gotten on my wife this year, just since I said, well, since we wrote the statements, I said, hey, you need to look back at that marriage mission statement, sister. You know,
Uh-oh.
because I need a little bit of RESPECT up in here, right? Or empathy. And she'll be like, you need to look
Yeah.
at it because you need to look at your communication.
Well,
Right. So and it says that, like, and then for our family mission statement, I just want people to know how easy this is, right? It's not hard.
mhm. Right.
We wrote these together, right? And
Mhm.
let me say this: we didn't sit down and Walt Whitman this thing. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
we pulled, we went and looked at a bunch of mission statements. We knew what we wanted.
Mhm.
Sometimes we didn't know how we wanted to say it,
Right.
right? But we looked at it and we were like, hey, this is what we like this. Let's add a part of this, a piece of that, you know,
Mhm.
and let's reword it and look at it and see if it meets up with our liking and needs. And we talked about it. When we wrote these mission statements, we went to Starbucks and we just sat there just with the
Okay.
mission statements. Oh, and for the planning session, well, it's like my wife was like, "Where are we gonna go?" I said, "We're getting out of this house." We got a babysitter on a Saturday, and we went to the library
Mhm.
and secured a room for 2 hours. You Yeah,
Really?
we locked ourselves in the room for 2 hours,
Okay.
whiteboarded it out, everything, wrote everything down, what we were gonna do. That's when we came up with our themes and everything else, and by the time we talked through all of
Mhm.
that and got through the first 30 days and half of the 90 day, it was time to go. Then we finished it up at the house. We did it in 6
Mhm.
hours, but we finished the other 4 hours here. But that
Mhm.
2-hour time together, just brainstorming and thinking as a team
Mhm.
helped
Helps you
helped us
focus.
focus, but it
Mm,
helped bring us
mhm.
together as well, right?
Of course.
Because we're in a home doing 2 different roles constantly at the same time trying
Mhm.
to parent 2 children, right? And so
Right.
we're we're together, but sometimes we're not together in the sense of doing other things. We both work from home at times. This brought us
Right.
together with just one goal straight off the rip to for us to do some things and say we're in this. This is how we're gonna spend these next 2 hours. So
That's great. I mean, I think of how churches will, some churches will have a,
yeah, we know.
there's leadership retreat or their executive board retreat, and they'll go off site somewhere and start planning things for the next year. And I mean, certainly families should do it. Like I said, when I counsel pre-marrieds, I pretty much say the same thing. You have your mission statement, you have your goals that you're setting for one another and for your family, and then that keeps you focused throughout the year because if something comes up and it's not on that, okay, that's either an instant discussion or just no, we're not doing it because you've already set it in place,
Yeah.
set your plans in place, what you're gonna do. So something, somebody suggests something, hey y'all, let's do. Well, no, that's not what we're doing. Not this year. Now we might put it on there for next year and look at it, but we've already got all this planned. And so I get it. I think it's awesome.
You have to.
And you say you all go. back in the huddle every week and look at it.
Yeah, we have to, because we're trying something different, right?
Right.
Because if you don't evaluate it, you can say maybe do it every 2 weeks if it's not, oh, every week,
Mm.
right? But if you give it
Mhm.
up every month, then you're because we have a 30-day set of goals, we have to
Mhm.
stay on task, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so, but if we was to do it every month, then we're only gonna meet 3 times to do it. In between there, things can slip. A lot of stuff can slip, you know? Lots of stuff can
Yeah.
slip. But
You say go back and look at line 13 on, page 6,
paragraph B, right?
paragraph B.
Subsection 249. Um,
There you go.
yeah, but to my charge to men though is you have to show people, show your household and show your spouse that you have a plan. And from what I've encountered,
Nothing like a man with a plan, I tell you what.
but well, I'm gonna tell you something. Guys, you don't have to be perfect. From what I've encountered is, now you can correct me if I'm wrong. Women want you to have a plan. It doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect. They want you to have
You just
something,
said it. Something, just something.
right?
Tell me what you gonna do, what you ready to do, what you wanna do. Come on.
Something, not just an idea. Is it on somebody's paper, and do you have some
Yeah.
steps to it, right?
Is it measurable?
Is it measurable? Is it
Is it
timely?
smart?
Is it realistic, right? Is this
Yes,
and if you don't, that's your fault at this point. If you're young and you don't
absolutely.
know, that's fine. But,
Mhm.
my wife said I'm too hard on people about certain things. But
Well, that's you.
stop. See, now you be
They said to me, "Is the elder gonna be on there?" I said, "Y'all, come on. He's gonna be he's not a bad guy, really."
you got people scared
Oh,
for
boy.
no
It's okay.
reason. You know,
Yeah.
fi
You're you. I
if
mean, you're you.
your goals need more specific,
But, yeah, I
measurable,
mean, a
attainable.
plan is right sexy,
Right.
if I could just say that.
Listen, a woman said a plan is sexy.
See, there's my girl. She said, "Women with a plan need a man with a plan." Come on up in here.
Listen, um, oh man, we're gonna segue into this. Why this is so important, and why I think some men who are working have some type
Mhm,
of income that is you're making a decent income, and why you
mhm.
might feel like your spouse is still not satisfied. I'm
Mm,
going to say this: um, I make a decent income,
mhm,
and it's a stressful job. Right, I'm a project
mhm,
manager, and what I did was as actually a program manager job as well. And I would
mhm.
sit here on my office and I'm watching TV, binging on a little bit of Netflix here and there. And wife had a major attitude about it, right? It's just like
Mhm.
just attitude. And then one day she said to me, I said, why you just give me a problem? Like, I'm making this money, I'm going to work, I'm with our children. And she said, because I'm watching you and you not living up to your potential.
Uh-oh.
That's what she said.
That's a good woman right
She
there.
said, I'm sitting, she said, it's not about the money. I want to see you doing something that you say you about and what you gonna do.
Did her neck do like this when she
Nah,
said
she
it?
didn't say that. She didn't do the neck thing.
I'm messing with you.
No, but she didn't do that. I don't think she know how to do the neck thing. That's the thing. But and I was like, oh snap. She says, I like when I met you and you were doing all this stuff, speaking
Mhm,
and doing this and doing that on top of your job. She says, I knew you didn't have a lot of time. She said, a woman don't want to see a man who has a lot of time, just not a lot of time applied somewhere.
just sitting
I
around.
said, you know what? I said, bet.
Not a good look.
I said, you're right. You are right. So let me do this. And I was intentional about it. Let's jump on our family plan. Let's jump on our goals, our mission, you know,
Mhm,
jump back into my book, popped open the business again, start doing things
mhm,
heavily, and getting involved in other places and doing other things. And so
mhm.
I think, guys, we owe it to ourselves to be a Renaissance man. in some capacity. You should be acquiring some type of cookie skill, reading something, writing something, learning playing an instrument, getting a new
Something.
habit, something sports, something getting out here, being in the community involved because when you pass away, that's when you hear like some of these folks, you hear all these great things that they've done, and there is a real genuine eulogy that is
Mhm.
accurate, not made up in fantasy, right? Just to
Right.
make you look good. But yeah, so you got to have a mission statement. You got a personal one. You need to have a personal mission statement. You need to have a family mission statement and plan for your family. And if you don't
Mhm.
have a 30, 96, 30, 60, 90, 80, 180, 365-day plan, just have a quarterly plan with 4 or 5
Yeah.
things that you're going to accomplish together.
Start where you are.
Yeah, you have to do it. You owe it to yourself.
Mhm.
And then if you have sons and daughters, they see what they have to do and what they're about. You set a standard
Exactly.
for the whole house when you do that,
Mhm.
and then it gives you an idea instead of these whimsical um what do you call those things that people do, resolutions.
There you go. Yeah.
It, hey,
Well, if they're smart resolutions, then they're a little bit more, I think they're a little more concrete, right?
specific,
Maybe?
measurable, attainable, realistic or relevant, time bound. Those are the things you need to
Mm,
do, right?
yeah,
Has to
yeah.
be
Those are
specific,
the things you need to.
right? you know um I like,
That'll take you somewhere.
tell somebody you have a smart goal. you know just
Come
start
on.
talking like it, and then also, like, one of my goals is to be around some people who are in different areas of life, and
Mhm,
reframing my circle, you
mhm.
know? Yeah,
Is that part of the rebranding? Because you said rebranding.
it is.
I was trying to figure
One
that
one
out.
of that part of that is you have to. I was very intentional last year about building new friendships. You know,
Mhm.
can't listen to goofy rap songs like "No New Friends" by Drake. Like, you need new friends. You know,
Yeah,
you know this. The older you get, you just don't have time for certain conversation anymore. It's like, where are we going with this? I don't want to talk
that's
about
true.
sports all the time. I like sports, but man, if all you want to talk to me about is football, what are you doing with your money? Right? What
Right.
what
Exactly. Yeah.
how are
What
you,
can we do with our money? I mean, what can we do?
right?
Even not even as a family, but as a people. I mean, as a community.
Resource,
Something besides that darn TV.
right. What are you doing? Like, where are you going with something? What are you building? How are you impacting the community, right? In some way.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, even what are you working out? Are you being healthy?
Something.
And that's built into
Or
our
is it just
plan.
hamburgers every day?
Nah, I don't eat hamburgers like cookies. No, I'm just like,
I know you can, not 'cause Labichi won't have that.
nope. Oh man, I have a story. Oh gosh, she got on me so bad.
I remember one of the stories you put online about something she prepared, and you were like, "What is this in the refrigerator?"
Oh, she always doing something. She's always doing something. Oh
Well, she got trying to keep you around, that's all.
yeah. Oh, I thought she was gonna put me out the house one day. A couple weeks ago. I went and got me a nice little 20-piece wings, fried wings from Publix, and she was
Hey,
like, "I know you did not." You know, she was mad. I was like,
wow.
I don't eat fried chicken that much. I wanted something. It was calling me. And I felt guilty with every bite,
Mhm.
but there were none
With every
with
bite.
every bite. But I enjoyed my guilt.
Amen. Every now and then, just have a little piece of chicken, I tell you what.
And then she made it,
Fried.
yeah, fried. And then she made me
Mhm.
feel worse because she wouldn't take any. She wouldn't bite any. She was like, "No, I don't want
No.
none of that. I want your death chicken."
Crazy.
Oh man,
So what's the story that you do remember? You don't remember the one I was talking about. You had opened the refrigerator and there was something in there. You were like, "What is this?"
I don't it's all I don't know. I one time she made a
Or she made you a smoothie.
oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I used to like smoothies, but she likes to put stuff like chia seeds and all this other stuff in there, and,
Right.
she made this quinoa salad. I hate quinoa, but I have to eat it.
Mhm.
I have to eat it. So,
Good man.
cauliflower pizza crust,
No.
I mean, I'm not cooking, so
I've had it, but no.
no, no. But so she keeps me healthy and everything like that,
That's good.
and I appreciate it. I was looking at one of these mission statements, see if I was going to read one. Um, Here's one for the family, right?
Okay.
And I think something that you have to be intentional about things when you have children and family, right?
Absolutely.
Or and so this one is as a family, it is important to promote a loving, supportive, and encouraging Christ-centered environment where we will demonstrate accountability while respecting each other's unique personality, talents, and contributions to the family, as we will intentionally promote faith, fun, laughter, and leisure. Two things stuck out with
Mhm.
me. I work a lot, so there was not a lot of time for leisure, right?
Mhm.
And off really good fun. And then I have children and my wife, we all have different personalities. And we
Mhm.
and sometimes you gloss over things because you're moving so fast or you're just like in the daily life of doing things and you may not appreciate someone else's uniqueness that they bring
Mm.
to your marriage, right? Or your children, you may not appreciate their unique way of looking at the world, or just as a child, like my youngest daughter, the way she does things, I have to now stop and be intentional about saying, "Oh wow, that's amazing." Not that she just
Mhm.
won and or she's 20 months. I just have to be like, man, that let me look at that. Or my 3-year-old, she's in the look at me daddy phase, right? She's three and a
Mhm.
half. Look at this, watch this, daddy. And I can't, as I'm sitting in this office that I write in and do things, I may be engrossed in that. I have to stop
Right.
and look at that. And part of his mission statement was also to bring me to the point where my wife said, "Hey, listen, even though I know I'm a parent and I have a child who's 27, right, a son, and I know I've you know marked him with a view of the world the way I see it, and help him grow as a man." When I looked at my daughters, it's like my wife told me, "Said you don't understand like how you're setting the tone for how they view men. Period. Right?
Exactly.
It's one thing to hear it, right?
Mhm.
Commonly, people say it. It's another thing to
Mhm.
sit back and contemplate it deeply. You know,
Mhm.
how I engage my daughter in her wonderment now will help her have the self-esteem and confidence in the world, especially with other men, right?
Mhm.
And you have this person with true daddy's girl or something, right? But it for me, I have to think about it because I'm busy, but I
Right.
can't make them feel like interruptions,
Exactly.
you know. And maybe some people out there got it all, but hey, I'm here in life and I don't have that. I'm learning that
Mhm.
and to be transparent and authentic about that. I needed to write it down to appreciate their differences and
Mhm.
gifts and mark time for fun. Like I'm going to get some water. They want to wrestle. I'm thirsty. Let me go ahead and just play
Right.
around, right? And it meant something to them,
Absolutely.
you know. So
I know my pastor always tells a story about how she's very busy traveling and all that kind of stuff, but she told her kids, "Hey, if you ever need anything, if you need me, I'm gonna stop whatever I'm doing and come see about you." You
right,
know, so she's like, she was in a meeting. If she's in a meeting and one of them comes in and say, "Hey, mom, I need you," I was like, "Oh yeah, y'all put a pin right here. I'll be back." you know, that's great. I mean that helps kids. not hate. Well, helps kids be good PKs for one thing, and not hate. Grow up hating grown-ups because grown-ups are always so busy doing everything else, um,
Right.
but paying attention to their children, right?
Right. And that's something we, like I said, our family mission statement had to line up with our planning. So in that we were like, okay, we got to plan a trip for us. We have, as a married
Mhm.
couple, we have to plan a trip for our children, right? That's
Mhm.
something that they will enjoy and we will enjoy, right? So we talked about
Mhm.
that the other day, and it's really
Okay.
just it's giving us purpose coming out of I would say coming out of COVID in a sense where people were just shifted everything to just being kind of lazy and being at home and just going with the flow. I mean, church
In the
service,
pajamas.
right, in the pajamas, bedside Baptist, all this other stuff. You kind of just coming out of this and launching into other areas. But we have to make sure that we are very intentional um, with spending time with each other and with our most of all our children and prioritizing them a little bit, right? I mean, in a way
Mhm.
that because they try to monopolize your time anyway, right?
Of course.
But it's a difference between when you just going every day dealing with it and then
Mhm.
being intentional about what we're going to do because it's healthy for us,
Mhm.
you know. Um,
I know I always reserved Friday for family time. We watch movies or we play games or we make Sundays or something or but always Fridays, and a lot of times there were events, different events planned on Fridays, but
mhm. Yeah,
that was always family time for us. We were just at home or we were somewhere together, but we were doing something not with other people, just, having our own fun.
yeah. You have to be. I was telling Labici the other day, like when I grew up, I never went on a vacation
Really?
ever with my mother. No, we never went on a vacation.
Oh my.
I don't ever. My mother was a working hustler, right? She had
Mhm.
she she had multiple jobs,
Right.
right? And it was never like we would go little things like to the beach. But we lived
Mhm.
near the beach, right? Just do
Mhm.
things. Go to the zoo, go here, go there. But like jump in the car, we're going on a family vacation to this part of the country
Mhm.
had never happened.
You didn't go to the
So
Grand Canyon, all that stuff.
no, and no, we and actually we mentioned I mentioned the Grand Canyon to Luigi Saturday. I was like, we have to go somewhere. And she's like, oh well, she talking about go Hawaii, right?
Disney World.
Uh no, the kids are too small for Disney World. I'm not doing that. They're too small.
Okay.
They're too small. They're not gonna appreciate that. They won't even remember it. Um she said Hawaii. I was like, I am not getting on a plane. It's 10 hours with a 20-month-old. You're trying to get me beat up by some passengers.
Maybe I'll just go to Savannah for now.
It's like
Or Panama City.
we go to Grand Canyon, and do some things, go to the mountains and do some stuff. But I'm like, you know, but she's the planner. She's the planner. I told her
Okay.
that's not, I said, that's not my gift. I didn't go on family vacation. She did. So I was like, you do it. I'll look at it, see if it's safe, and we can go.
Oh, wow. Sharon said, "What we pay attention to is what we will live." How about that?
I see that. That is true. You
Yeah,
know?
we went on the family vacations. Well, mostly my mom took me. I don't think my brothers went on too many, but every now and then the whole family went, but mostly it was just me and her because I was the only girl. So, you know, we went to, and then the school had a lot of stuff. You mean your school didn't take you on trips and stuff?
That wasn't no vacation.
Well, I
Y'all
mean, we
going
went to the Niagara Falls and stuff with the school, and y'all didn't do that?
No, I remember I remember one time I was in the 4th grade. I would never forget this. And in my class, they were going to Washington, D.C.
Mhm.
And no, it wasn't the 4th grade. It was the 6th grade. It was going to Washington, D.C. And my mom said, "Hey, the teacher called." She said, "You can stay home on that day."
Oh, wow.
I was a handful, right?
Oh, okay. I
And I
see.
totally didn't understand it. I did not understand why I couldn't go,
Mm.
but apparently I was, you know,
You're one of those kids, they said, "If your mom comes, you can go."
I was one of those kids that was like, he won't sit down and he likes to walk around and he likes to draw and he likes to talk and he likes to, you know,
Mhm,
and to the point, let me say it. If you know your children, you appreciate their talents and gifts and you're
mhm,
involved, then then now by your mission statement, you now have the ability to speak for your child in a manner that the school may not understand. Like, no,
mhm,
there's nothing wrong with they're very inquisitive. What are
mhm.
you like? I'm looking at the lesson plan that the work you're sending home is not keeping them occupied,
Right.
right? And so I was one of those kids who was smart
Mhm.
and bored.
Yeah,
And
you
so
like
what did they
Jordan.
do to black boys? They were like, "Oh, something's wrong with him.
Mhm.
He don't like to sit down and sit in this 1800 structure of sitting in a classroom and looking at something. No,
For
man, I
hours
want
on
you to
end,
touch
yeah.
something, right?
Mhm.
Right? Here we're gonna do this with this little trinket or whatever. I opened it up, you know.
Took it apart.
Right. I'm like, that's not real. Well, let me break that open and let me see how this works. And so you that's a whole nother thing just because you don't want your children labeled destructive or
Mhm.
bad or this, and they're not. They're
Right.
inquisitive. They
They're
they don't fit the
inquisitive.
mold of what the teacher wants them to do, the school wants them to do, because they just want people to go along with this system that they've created.
Right.
And the people who have made the world great and better are the folks who never went along with that system.
That's true. That's
So
true. They were, because they didn't tell me till later when Jordan was in, elementary school, but he spent most of his time in the hallway. He put him out the class,
yeah,
but he set the curve for the whole place, so when test time came. But,
yeah. See,
that was just so funny. I was like, "What?" They were like, "Yeah, he we put him out."
like talking.
Yeah, talking,
Talking is
um
the one thing that will generate the most money in your life
come on in here.
as you get older is talking.
That's right.
And they tell these kids they talk too much in class, you're disturbing the class. Well, how about you give them something to do and talk
That's what
about?
I
Let
used to
them give
tell
the
them.
announcements that day.
Mhm.
You
Those
know,
are your leaders. You need to, work with them.
right. Let them explain the lesson today.
Exactly. I mean,
You
that's what
know?
they did with us. Because when I was in, 5th grade, I remember, they would just give me everybody's tests, and I would check the test for the teacher, or just give me something else to do because I was done before everybody else. And I was like, okay, now what? And they're like,
Right.
okay, come here. So, these, I don't know if they just don't have time, but I mean, teaching, that's a whole nother thing. We don't even have time. I'm gonna invite a teacher on here today so they can let us know what it's like in these here teaching streets. Oh
Oh
Lord.
man.
I know
Oh, I feel bad
that'll
for
be a
teachers.
show.
I feel bad for teachers, and I don't feel bad for teachers because of students. I feel bad for teachers because of the restrictions placed on them when they
That
had the
too.
idea they want to teach, and
Mhm.
then they realize they're not teaching. You know,
No, they're teaching for testing
right?
nowadays. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you, Reverend Elder,
Stop.
Mr.
There you go with that. Now,
Coach.
I right. I listen. You got people thinking like they.
No, that's just because I'm like, well, he's strongly opinionated, but that's a good thing. Um,
We gotta have some balance to the show.
that's right. That's right. It's good. It's a good thing. Is he gonna push you? He's gonna ask you some questions. Uh, but that's all right. We have some people lined up that are they're over there lifting weights now, just getting ready to come on here with Elder Case. And they're they're in the weight room as we
And wait,
speak.
yeah, and you need to be in the weight room with some of these things, planning and mission statements. And I'll tell sisters like this, like I told the men, they need to have them. Sisters, you need to ask them where they at.
Come on in here. That's right.
And if they don't have them, don't be like, well, you ain't got one. And holler at me when you get one. No, I'm
Mm-mm,
sorry for doing that
mm-mm.
voice. I'm just playing.
No.
Um, say, ask them, have they ever thought about it? Ask them questions. Hey, I would really like a man if he had a plan. You ever thought about that? Maybe we should do one together. Like women like to do what it was called, vision boards.
There you go.
I did one with my wife first,
Did
and
you?
yeah, before we got married, I did
Come
one.
on.
I did. It was a vision board of something that we really wanted to accomplish. It wasn't no
Mhm.
law of attraction. I wasn't staring at that board, but like, come to me,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
no.
positive thinking and manifestation. No, it was
Mhm.
something for me to reference.
Right.
So y'all could do both. Right?
Absolutely. We did it with the young people. We have vision board night for the young people for their 2024, what they wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
And the boys had a table and the girls had a table, and they went, I mean, they had some really wonderful things on their boards. And a lot of them were just so very organized and just so very intentional. I love it. You know, I love the young people. But anyway, thank you, man, for your taking us through the whole planning and mission statement for your families, for your person, for your for your life. We just did it for 2024, but
Yeah.
it's something that you ought to have, especially if you're trying to lead a family or even lead yourself for that matter. You got to lead yourself somewhere. Where you going? So we didn't call it resolutions.
No, we didn't. We didn't. I think it's. Look, I want to hang my hat before you hang up on this real quick.
Okay.
Some of the most profitable and well-known businesses in the world have
Hmm.
mission statements
And as do churches.
and vision statements,
Yes.
purpose statements, and
Yes.
if we should have them for our lives.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yes.
Period. That's it.
Yes. Okay. So one of these shows, probably in February, um, bring us a framework so we can we can plan that and have some people come on and help them do one. How about that?
Sure. We'll think
Okay.
about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we can do that.
One of these, probably late February, maybe.
Yeah, I already have a whole program for that. So yeah, sure.
I know you do. That's why you're here.
No, it's great. So
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming on. I invited some of my married folks, but then I see Nikki's on here. Hey, Nikki. Because these are some things that we can include in our lives, and some things that I know some of my smart friends and your smart friends already know about and do, but some people don't. So that's another reason why we're here in the weight room. Now, I don't know what episode this is, and neither does Jerome. But
I know
next week, I'm going to tell you what episode it is because I'm getting ready to go count them. I think it's
you're
probably
funny.
10.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay. But anyway, they are on YouTube on under Mighty Through God, which is the name of the channel. The Weight Room is the podcast on the channel. So they're under the live tab or the playlist tab. Okay. So that's how you can find them. And they're also on Spotify and iTunes and where else you find podcasts. So Elder Case, you going to pray us out tonight?
I'll do my best.
I appreciate it.
It's gonna be straight to the point. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to share about planning. I mean, you are the ultimate planner, Lord God. You know the plans
Hallelujah.
you have for us, the plans to prosper us and not to harm us, to give us a hope in the future. And God, therefore, we should be planning for our life to be prosperous. We should mark out the plans that we have for us on our heart. We should mark out the plans that you have given us, Lord God. We should be in order in planning for our lives and our family, Lord. And we should set goals, and we should set them in a smart way. We should line them up with your will so that we can make your name great and your kingdom expanded. Lord, we thank you for this time and this opportunity to share, to be heard, and to commune. We ask that you will bless us and our listening and viewing audience, and that they might seek and find plans for themselves, that they might write them down, and they might prosper with them. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. That's right. Write the vision and make it plain. That's
I,
over in Habakkuk.
I wasn't going to say that because they say that all the time, but
Habakkuk.
that's right.
Well, that a herald may run with it. I mean, it's in the
Yes.
Bible. It's in
To
the
be
Bible.
BLE. Yeah.
Amen. So, like, share, subscribe, comment. Even if you leave a comment later, I'll probably come back and see it and say something to you. So, be a part of our community. We enjoy it. We love you.
Just
And
real people.
we're real people. Hey. And we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Yes.
To be seen and not viewed.
On that note.